Northwestern Chronicles, Episode 22, Sodor's Greatest Engine. The holiday rush was fast approaching on the island of Sodor, and the engines at the sheds were getting ready to pull their trains. All except James, however. He groaned and groaned. "Ugh," groaned James. "What's wrong?" asked Toby. "Ugh, none of your business," replied James. "Oh, come on, just tell us before you do something stupid." The other engines laughed, but James was in no position to. He remained silent. "Oh, come on," said Toby. "Just tell us." "It's Percy!" cried James. "Oh, here we go again," groaned Gordon. "James, we've been through this multiple times." I know," said James. "But it's just that Sir Topham Hatt has been heaping all this praise on Percy, even though I do just as much work as he does." "Oh, pish-posh," replied Gordon. "Every engine deserves their moment in the spotlight." "I know," said James, "but this is getting out of hand. I mean, Percy will do the slightest thing that benefits the railway, and Sir Topham Hatt will do all this praise for him." "Well, I'm not entirely sure," said Toby. Suddenly, Sir Topham Hatt pulled up to the sheds. He climbed out of his car. Attention, engines," said Sir Topham Hatt. "I have an important announcement to make. I just want to recognize that Percy..." He noticed Percy was still in his shed. "Oh, look at that. He's resting. Well, I guess I gave him that rest day today for doing all that work yesterday. Anyways, I just want to recognize that Percy was doing a lot of work today. Anyways, you can continue on your jobs. Remember, the holiday rush is approaching." So Topham Hatt climbed back in his car and roared away. "You see what I mean?" cried James. "Yeah, I see where you're coming from," said Toby. "But maybe Sir Topham Hatt just started doing it, and now it's a habit he picked up." "Even so," said James. I'm growing very annoyed of it." "Well, maybe if you do some outstanding work for the railway that benefits everybody, Sir Topham Hatt will have no choice but to recognize you." Suddenly, James got a good idea. "You're right, Toby," said James. "That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to prove myself to Sir Topham Hatt. I'm going to be Sodor's greatest engine." "Pah!" laughed Gordon. "Can you believe this, Henry?" "Nope," said Henry. Yeah. You could all laugh for now," said James. "But don't worry. I'll prove it to all of you." James stayed away as the engines rolled their eyes. James soon arrived at Nafford Station. It was mostly empty, and a railway official was standing there. "Ah, yes. Hello, James. Hello, James. We need you to bring this Timoth milk tank over here to Ellsborough Station. Can you do that?" "No problem," said James, and he happily coupled to the tanker. He peeped his whistle and rolled out of Nafford Station. I gotta think of some way to prove myself to Sir Topham Hatt. He came across Stephen outside of the Earl's estate. He was pulling a boxcar and was struggling immensely. "Hello, Stephen," said James. "Do you want any help with that?" "Oh, really? Thank you so much. Yes, I would very much like that," said Stephen. "And yes, thank you. This just needs to go to the docks as soon as possible. Can you do that?" "Oh, yeah, sure, no problem," said James. Stephen was relieved as James added the boxcar to his train. "Thank you very much," said Stephen. "I won't forget this." "Thank you very much." "You too," said James. James rolled away. He soon rolled past Tim's sheds. The engines remained there. As James continued with his train, he was still thinking about how to prove himself to Sir Topham Hatt. He soon came across Dennis the Diesel. He was pulling a scrap car. "Oh, James, stop right there." "Dennis? What's wrong?" "Well, Sir Topham Hatt wants me to bring this scrap car to Nafford Station, but, well, I have other things to do. Can you help me out?" "Sure, no problem," said James. "Oh, cool, thanks." Dennis was caught off guard by James's enthusiasm, but he wasn't about to stop. James continued with the train and pulled out of the iron place as Dennis snickered behind. James soon arrived at the quarry. In front of him stood two troublesome trucks. "Those are supposed to be there," said James. Two silly engines must have left them on the main line. That won't do." He coupled the train, and soon he realized, about doing this, and soon he started to think more and more about how he could continue to prove himself to Sir Topham Hatt. "After doing all this work, he'll have no choice but to recognize me," said James. Unfortunately, below him stood Mike, who was getting stood Mike, who was getting a drink of water at the water tower. He was standing in front of the main crossing, and just beside him was Duck collecting some troublesome trucks for a train at Knapford Station. It was a recipe for disaster, as James couldn't see the trucks in front of him, or the train in front of him. The trucks were blocking his view. Rickety cried in horror as James tumbled down the viaduct and crashed into the train. Mike, Duck, the trucks, and James was caught off guard as he was covered in trucks. From the surprise, Percy burst out of his shed. "What in the world?" cried Percy. As Toby and Percy were horrified, Gordon and Henry couldn't help but laugh. Sir Topham Hatt returned once again. What happened here?" said Sir Topham Hatt. "This is the crucial part of the railway." Sorry, sir," and James explained the situation. Well, James, I didn't realize I was giving Percy all that praise." "But, sir, you don't understand," said James. It's more than that. It's the fact that I do all the same work as he does." "Well, I'm sorry, James, but I guess I just didn't realize until now. Anyways, I should probably get someone to clean this up. And be more careful next time." Mike and Duck were still caught off guard. "Ugh," groaned Mike. "I don't feel so good." "Neither do I," said Duck. "Don't worry, we'll get this all repaired. And James, I'll be talking to you later." Sir Topham Hatt climbed back into his car and roared away once again. "Well, James, I guess we all learned our lesson at one point." "I guess we do," said Gordon, and the engines at the sheds had to agree.